Welcome in. I don't have one like already. Welcome in. Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Gemini. That will work. We're going to move our station midstream. Don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. Midstream movement. Last minute changes. It is what it is. Double tap for likes while I midstream move. Thank you for your patience. Midstream locale, relocate. Little locational. There's locational astrology, there's locational streaming. All right, scratch this because this is dead over here. What I want to do is pull up my notes. I took notes for this live. Can you hear me okay? Chat. I'm still getting acclimated to this. I see the chat. That's not it. Thank you for the likes already. And I haven't even started. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you so much. Aquarius and Taurus. is the focus. This morning, I'm going to talk about vision meeting reality. Vision, Aquarius, reality, Taurus. Even though the moon is in Gemini now, there's still a focus on these two zodiac signs. I assume you can hear me. Aquarius, the sign of knowledge, the sign of future, the sign of innovation, the sign of downloads. Taurus, the sign of values. Taurus, the sign of the body, money, stability, and the physical world. So Uranus or Uranus, some of you might say Uranus or Uranus, is a planet that rules Aquarius, and it's currently situated in Taurus. Future is no longer an idea, it's becoming material. We're alchemically working with Aquarius and Taurus today. And the reason why I'm working with Aquarius and Taurus is because these two zodiac signs, there's a focus, energy is focused here. It's not only here, but it's focused, it's amplified here. Aquarius sees it, Taurus builds it. Put your sun, moon, rising in the chat, or what area of life feels like it's changing, but also stabilizing. Aquarius is changing, is the sign of change. Taurus is the sign of stabilization. It equals a lot. It's a great question. It equals the future Aquarius plus grounding Taurus. It equals, it's more of a what they bring together, right? Innovation Aquarius plus values equals ideas on how to acquire more, ideas on how to stabilize oneself. Feel like a transmutation? That sounds like Pluto. That sounds like Scorpio. I want to see if I could bring a chart over here. Okay, I'm not able to bring a chart over here. That's fine. An updated chart is what I want to bring. But if that's not going to work, we'll bring an old chart from yesterday. Okay, and some technical difficulties. Now we know what the technical difficulties look like. I wonder why. So, this is Aquarius here. This is Taurus over here. I'm connecting Aquarius to Taurus specifically because of Uranus or Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius, which ties Aquarius and Taurus. Aquarius is innovative. Aquarius is ideas. Aquarius is truth and knowledge. And Taurus is values. Taurus is worth. Aquarius is also focuses on collective shifts. Aquarius has a lot to do with the people symbolically. If we were to put Aquarius as the people and incorporate and add Taurus as its grounding nature, the people grounding in and with knowledge and truth, new ideas that solidify. Aquarius and Taurus are both fixed signs, which means that they're anchoring signs. It brings a grounding is a word that comes to mind, but it also brings to mind the idea of stability and steadiness through one's ideas, a steadiness through the knowledge that one collects or puts together. You know, it can be looked at as people waking up with substance, Taurus, right? Awakening would be the sun in Aquarius because the sun is a symbol that brings light. I have said that when the sun is in a specific zodiac sign, it highlights the character traits of that sign. So, being that Aquarius is the sign of knowledge, it's lit more than any other time of the year. Not that you only have new ideas when the sun is in Aquarius, it's that when the sun is in Aquarius, there's these ideas ever more present, it's amplified, if you will. And that's one of the biggest things that I have found, especially with understanding planetary rulership. Planetary rulership really allows one to see the connection between signs. Right. So Taurus, Taurus is the sign of the bull. It also symbolizes the body. It symbolizes money and resources, both physical and mental. Recently, one's self worth. is a resource. One's physical environment is also a resource. So there's connection between knowledge, truth, ideas, change, and resources. That which you find resourceful. Okay, so Aquarius plus Taurus and Uranus in Taurus. New ways of making money. New, because the sun is in Aquarius. Thus, therefore, it makes Uranus new. The same way that the sun is a light to Aquarius, bringing new ideas. Symbolically, it amplifies Uranus in Taurus to amplify the redefining of one's worth. New ways of making money, whether it be by um, choice or feeling forced. Look at that. Changes in housing, one's living, one's comfort, changes in one's food, land, finance, nervous system upgrades needing to be grounded even because of the fact that Uranus, as a ruler of Aquarius, points to the intellect and the nervous system. I had said before this live, I wrote down that if Aquarius is the lightning, then Taurus is the ground rod. So all this energy, it makes me think also of um some of the things that are going on in the world. You know, there's like this revolutionary um energy that's taken place in the world all over the place. And it has been that way for a while, but it's amplified now and it's grounding in um material worth and value, substance. Like evidence is something that symbolizes values and worth. Mm. Yeah, so that those are some of the points that I wanted to share that actually bring a focus to this month, the next 22 days now. We've experienced it for the past 8, and now we have 22 more days remaining of this amplification of energy between Aquarius and Taurus. So I also wanted to make a bridge to um, Saturn in Pisces because in astrology, each zodiac sign has a planetary ruler. Aquarius in modern rulership is ruled by Uranus, and in ancient rulership is ruled by Saturn. So both Saturn, I would have liked to have it up higher, but anyway, Saturn and Uranus are the two planets that rule Aquarius. And so not only do we have an amplification of knowledge because the sun is in Aquarius, and that knowledge and truth is distributed into Taurus with the realization and the knowledge of our values. But this knowledge is also redistributed into the sign of Pisces, which has to do with our beliefs. So having knowledge of our worth and having knowledge through our beliefs. It's the spiritual current, if you will. Spiritual because Pisces is spiritual sign. And in addition, we have Neptune also very close in proximity to Saturn. Intuition guiding material decisions is part of it. Emotional and energetic sensitivity increasing is also part of it. Pisces is the part that feels it. Aquarius sees it or knows it, and Taurus builds it. So building upon what it is that we feel. So I know that was a little spotty, but I want to get into some readings to see how um, Aquarius, Taurus activation shows up in your chart in your life. So for those who are here, if you want me to show you an example of the sun, the moon, and the rising in your chart and how you're influenced by this energy, put your placements in the chat. It's perspective. It's a lot of days if you look at it as a lot of days. It's 30 days in total. Each month has 30. Okay, Taurus, Moon, and Aquarius rising. Well, I'm glad that it was helpful. Taurus, Moon, and Aquarius rising. Um, this energy kind of points directly to your personality as an Aquarius rising. There's a saying, I'm sure you've heard, my cup runneth over. Not for nothing. Aquarius is a sign of knowledge. So it could bring a lot of information pouring, gushing in at once. And so the nervous system piece, the regulation of your nervous system is super important for you if you're still here. All this symbolism here in Aquarius can break it down as the knowledge and the information that rushes in, makes you angry, it drives you. It could be angered, it could be turned up, right? It could be a crashing out. That's what young folk use, crashing out, which is crazy when you think about it, you know, symboled by Mars, the amplification of changes in your life and the personality that you express to others is where you start to express it some more. The sun in Aquarius, the sun, it's a little tidbit to the sun in Aquarius. Planets do good in some signs, they do They have a challenging time in others. The sun has a challenging time. It's in detriment when it's in Aquarius. So it can be a lot. Knowledge can be a lot. You can interpret it like that. At the same time that Mercury, the planet of information, is in Aquarius. So you being informed, right? That's gushing in at the same times that the transformations are happening, at the same time that you're sparked and you're inspired or you're pissed off, right? And at the same time, Venus, the planet of beauty, and you're trying to appreciate all of this at the same time. So that can be um a little bit overwhelming, I'm guessing. It's just a theory. Um and symbolically, we can interpret all this energy as you pouring all of this energy into your foundation. Because if Aquarius is on the ascendant, it puts Taurus in the fourth place, which is the placement of the home, the family, the living condition. So there's that. Um, Pouring this energy of um, Aquarius symbolically and focalizing it into the home, um, and a way to keep you grounded in addition to or with all of this knowledge and information, all that's going on. Um, the home environment to find a place in the home environment that's comfortable for you, I would say, because Taurus is the sign that symbolizes comforts, you know, and in the fourth house, it's what grounds us. So there's a strong need for um, a place in the home that you can retreat to, right? And so we add in the emotions of Pisces. Pisces is Aquarius's second house. So one of the biggest values to you is the belief that it would work out for you. Believing in yourself. The spiritual current and momentum of um acknowledging your worth. This is like the guide and the compass. Notice how the North Node is also in Pisces, right? I would encourage like not only breathing techniques. I was saying breathing techniques and I've been saying breathing techniques, or it doesn't even have to be a technique. It can be a longer inhale and a longer exhale. Is a grounding exercise. Um, Coherent breath, like intentionally inhaling for 2 more seconds, intentionally exhaling for 2 more seconds as a way to regulate walks, right? I want to go back to the regulated breathing, the coherent breathing. When you do the coherent breathing, there's a lot of different techniques out there. Like I've been looking at it like um, bodybuilders do sets and reps. Like if you inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, that'll be 1 rep, right? And you do that a total of 3 times. If you still find yourself wired or moved by a situation, then maybe try something else. I am of the mind that another technique that could be incorporated is involving the um, part of the body that incorporates the voice box, because the zodiac sign Taurus has to do with the throat, neck, and the ears. So I've done some research and found that humming is a technique that activates the vagus nerve, which essentially activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and it brings a calming or a grounding sensation to the individual. 30 seconds, 10 seconds, even. 10 seconds can be 1 rep, do 3 reps, right? If that, if you've tried that, then maybe a walk. So we got breathing, we got um, humming, we got walking, even aromatherapy is something that can even work and help, like the smelling of herbs, spices, cinnamon, lavender. So those are some things that help. Um, all right. Um, Libra sun, Sagittarius moon, Libra rising. And you are learning your chart better. Give yourself some credit for where you are, right? Libra, Sag, Libra. So Libra is here. And if Libra is on the ascendant, is it Libra? Libra sun, Sag, moon, Libra rising. Okay, you have the sun on the ascendant. Okay, they say they call that a double Libra, a true Libra, because the sun is on the ascendant and it's also the rising sign. And so um, Libra has Aquarius in the fifth house, which is the house of love. It's the house of creativity. It's the house of enjoyment. It's quite simply can be looked at as the environment that deals with the inner child, so play. Of course, there's work. Of course, there's things that you have to do, but to incorporate the play, to incorporate laughter and enjoyment with all this energy here, you might feel like, I just feel like doing something different, like to be free, childlike. It's interesting how um, we start off as children, and then as we grow up, we're told to be serious. We're taught, of course, we got to, you know, wash clothes, make money, pay rent. But we go back to, excuse me, we go back to a childlike state. And in order to maintain our youthfulness, it is said that being childlike is part of it. And so this is the time of the year for Libra risings to engage in childlike behavior. And that doesn't necessarily mean crying or acting like a child, um, as a child would, but doing things that are enjoyable to you. Libra on the ascendant puts Aquarius in the fifth, so it highlights the fifth house. It highlights the heart. It's not only the child, you behaving or activating the inner child, it's also recognizing the child and others, or being around children even. Yeah. Um, Libra on the ascendant puts Taurus in the eighth house. So it highlights the fifth house and the eighth house, highlights your sense of play and the inner child as a way to ground yourself into a transformation. Children, um, youthfulness. Somehow through that, that brings a transformation. It activates a transformation within, a rebirth of sorts that essentially grounds you. And so um the spiritual aspect, Saturn and Pisces aspect, activates your sixth house. The sixth house is the house of health. So your mental well-being, your physical well-being, how you feel connected when you have this enjoyment and you're grounded through that enjoyment and you experience this transformation and this rebirth. Thank you so much for sharing. Sun in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I would really focus on those three areas: Aquarius, Taurus, and Pisces, those three signs, and looking at what they interpret, what they mean at the root meaning, some of the character traits that are expressed through each of the signs, and how it could possibly play out in the um, house placements. That's going to give you a stronger comprehension of the signs in your life and essentially um, knowing how it manifests in other people's life as well. All right, what's another sun, moon, and rising sign combination that I could do? Ah, much better. Look at that. Thank God. All right, so this is a better picture for us. And this is the current chart. All right, can I do yours? Sure. Put your big three in the comments. They always go in that order. Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. It always goes in that order. Aquarius is always before Pisces, always before Aries, always before Taurus. That's the one thing that the order always stays the same. Well, maybe we can make some sense of your birthday. You are special. You're special as an Aquarius rising. And the specialty to it is that there's 30 degrees of Aquarius, and your degree is special because you're the only one at that degree, with that sun at that degree, with that moon at that degree. The degrees make it special. Um, what time were you born? I usually don't do these types of things, but I'll help you out this time. There's so many websites that you can look up your placements, but for the sake of the conversation, I'll help you. I just so happen to be prepared. Um, what time were you born? You were born at 6 in the morning? I don't It's possible. Um, were you born in the East Coast? You're an ambulance baby? Interesting. Northwest, so Cali-ish. West Coast, the north of the West Coast. Okay, Washington. What is that? That's Washington city and state. Washington, let's see. Washington State, Washington? No. What's the city and state? Maybe it's Washington State. Thank you for that. I don't know. That's not coming up for me. Let's try something else. I think I have to actually put Washington State. Ms. Williams, I thought you had a Taurus moon. I'm confused. I read you as a Taurus moon. Oh, your sun. Excuse me. You did say your sun. I made a mistake. Um, how would I put that? I don't know why it's not coming up. Is is uh is it in the same time zone as Los Angeles? Is it the same time zone as Los Angeles? You shouldn't have to pay any money to get your chart calculated. They usually do that for free. It's when you want to get the interpretation. Thank you so much. Okay, got you. So I got you in Los Angeles, California, because Los Angeles, California is the same time zone. And the rising sign might be a little bit different, might be a little different, but um if you were born at 6 a.m., which I don't know, that's something that I would research or verify through a chart rectification. But for the sake of the conversation, with that information that you've shared, you're a Pisces sun, a Leo moon. The moon was in Leo, and you're a Pisces rising. So if you have a little pen and paper, maybe pencil it in. Take it as a grain of salt until you um, check that with a couple of websites or apps. Time passages might be a good one to use, or astro.com might be a good one to use. Well, the early by a month, um, I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter. Everything matters in some way, shape, or form. But according to the chart, the being born a month early doesn't change the charting. The charting is the charting the way that it is according to one's birth. So it would be more the time that would be the contributing factor of change of the rising sign or any of the placements in the chart. So the sun was in Pisces, the moon was in Leo, and Pisces was on the ascendant. So what's interesting about that is that there's more spiritual connection there, more spiritual and emotional ties for you in the early part of this month. It changes in February. When I say this month, I'm speaking of the sun in Aquarius, but the signs change mid-month. So what I'm trying to say is that when we go from January to February, the sun will still be in Aquarius, right? And then you'll experience this shift and this ease in a certain sense because the planet Saturn will then be out of Pisces. Not for nothing. The past couple of years have been quite challenging for you emotionally, um, possibly, potentially, involving responsibilities and the controlling of your emotions and um, finding structure and learning how to manage emotions. And so the sun in Aquarius for you has to do with self improvement. All of these planets are situated in your 12th house. The 12th house in astrology is a place of um, secrecy, so it's not anything that's wide out in the open. It's more so an internal uh, activation for you. Things that you've recognized and acknowledged about yourself that maybe you want to change or adjust a little bit. So it's based on, has a lot to do with emotional content. Now, the interesting thing is that as a Pisces rising, right, Aquarius is in the 12th and Taurus is in the third house, meaning that um, your sense of spirituality and um, your self development, like working on yourself, working on areas that you want to improve, are grounded in your mindset. What does that mean? It means symbolically, it can be interpreted as you being more mental on things, not mental in the environment that has to do with mindset. When I say mental, I'm speaking of your mindset and the shaping of your mindset being grounded through communicative form, being around people that support you, you know, thinking, speaking on things that ground you as opposed to get you all riled up. If that makes sense to you. If you were born at 6 a.m. Well, whether you can do more mentally um, than you can physically, according to your chart, um, Aquarius, what I was talking about in the beginning of the conversation, the beginning of the live, was that Aquarius and Taurus are tied together, right? So the more that you work on yourself and improving yourself, being true to yourself, right? Then there's a grounding when it comes to your mind and your mindset. Um, Thank you for sharing. Remember that KJL, WUL. Um, Miss Williams, your son is an Aquarius Sun, Cancer Moon, Sag rising. While we're speaking about the third house, right? This stellium in Aquarius is in your son's third house, so it also highlights and activates his mindset and his thinking um, for ideas. You notice? Have you noticed how active your son has been um, with his mindset, with his ideas, with the creation of ideas, like a little scientist? That's the best thing that I could say. You know, incorporating new ways in which to take care of himself. Somehow it incorporates health and wellness, believe it or not. Call you Chow. Okay, we'll call you Chow. I would have never gotten that from your name, but what does this represent? What does this represent? It represents so much. It represents a calendar, it represents a clock, it represents, um, it has symbolism in here. And by knowing which symbol is which, it represents planetary cycles based on where they're positioned. It's so much. Talking Japanese, who wants to be a teacher in Japan? Let's go. You see the third house? The third house is the house of language. Um, Learning. He's taking Japanese. That involves engineering. So, um, I want to share something with you if I could. Um, I've been into the root meaning of words. And so, from what I looked up what is the root meaning of the word engineering, right? Because you wanted him to be an engineer. And I kind of look at learning a language as engineering, but I wanted to be sure. But this is what came up. The root meaning of engineering. Engineering comes from the Latin ingenium, equaling it equals inborn talent, cleverness, natural ability. From this, we get ingeniator, torius, someone who devises or creates. Engine, originally a clever device or invention. Engineer, one who designs or constructs ingenious solution. So, learning of a language to teach ESL students is in that there's engineering involved. I know what you meant, but so at its root, engineering means the application of human ingenuity, not just machines, not just buildings, but the clever use of intelligence to solve problems, just like his mom. Originally, engineers weren't mechanics, they were designers of military engines. Design systems, build structures. Perhaps he builds a structure and a system that helps students, right? So it's the bridge between imagination, planning, and physical result. Um, I appreciate all of you. Um, Thank you so much. Subscribe, um, like the video, and I'll see you on the next show. Have a good day.